I don't know what I'm trying to say by opening the episode on this particular shot, but hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons back with another spoonful or more of Spyro 2 Gateway to Glimmer, going in through the back entrance of Robotica Farms for literally no reason whatsoever. Also, hey, we're back up to nearly 5,000 gems, I only just realised. Anyway, story. Rip in peace. So this is a rather interesting thing. I'll let this guy explain.
Howdy, Spyro. These here pests have infested our farm. Could you find the time to help us get rid of them?
I do like how their names, like, I think, as I recall, most, if not all the characters in this level have names that are just two words slammed together, but with capitals, like, as appropriate.
Find your way over to the giant bug lamp and turn it on so we can zap any more invading pests.
Because, like, when I first encountered this level as a child, that's like, oh my god, it's so futuristic, because, yes, this is Metropolis Acres, or so it used to be called. And it's got a rather interesting dichotomy to it, where it's sort of like Winter Tundra's version of Zephyr and Breeze Harbor, where you've got Metropolis Acres, or Robotica Farms, where these robots live and it's being invaded by robotic bugs, and then there's Metropolis Spires, where the robotic bugs live and they're being invaded by the farms, which is bananas, and it works really well. And if you know me, you know that, you might know that I'm not insectophobic, but I do hate them, kind of. Or at the very least, I'm not a big fan of bugs, and, like, I'm not arachnophobic, but I hate spiders. Like, for some reason, just looking at them, they just piss me off. Like, I know that sounds like a really pissy excuse for, oh, no, you're just afraid of spiders. Well, like, I'm technically not. I could grab one, I just don't like the idea of it. Whereas, you know, some people are, like, deathly scared of them, like, they will just seize up or whatever. But in this case, I actually take the side of the bugs. I don't know why. I think it's just because, I suppose I'm a futurist at heart, and while the farms themselves are sort of a futuristic twist on a crazy golf course version of a farm, Metropolis, or Metropolis Spires as it used to be called, is just extreme future. And as I said, I'm sort of a futurist, so yeah. Did you ever get that impression from my opinions on Eurovision songs? So there are those bugs who they just sort of sit and spin. I've not really shown that to great effect just yet, but yeah, they kind of just sit there and spin at you, and in order to dispose of them, you attack them once to make them flip over, and then you have to head bash them, and that's the only way to kill them, and I think they may be the only enemies that you're required to head bash, you're required to head bash to kill them, apart from the Earth Shapers, but that has a prerequisite that you can't do by yourself. Thanks, Hunter, and thanks, Funter, and your inability to communicate what the hell you're about to do. Yes, I'm still salty about that, but then again, this was recorded on the same day as the last episode, and the last episode is chronologically closer in time to the time that Hunter was a food. A food. You know, a food. As opposed to, you know, Christmas card for food, as opposed to toe. That's kind of an old story. Anyway, there are seesaws here for some reason, and I don't know why. You just sort of need to be quick to... Like, is this just a piece of farming equipment I don't recognise? I don't see why it would be. You do have to be a bit quick to get across them, otherwise, obviously, they will be too far the wrong way. Like, because they're seesaws, the down will be too far down for you to get up when you need to up. Also, yeah, maybe it's radioactive waste, but you can still charge the barrels. And that's a good way of getting rid of those bugs that throw the barrels. Now, these flying ones, like that one over there up and to the right that I'm sort of ignoring, the idea with these is you're supposed to pick up those little yellow rocks that you've... Oh, just spat on my pop filter, that was very visible, ew. You're supposed to get these yellow rocks and shoot them at them. But, I don't know, I just... In any other playthrough, that's what I would do, I'm not sure why I'm not. But you can just flame them in person. And that works just as well, and just to demonstrate, you can't yellow open those things, and this mission, I remember being a donkey dick of suckery. That's a good way of putting it.
These darn bugs are making a joke of my expensive robot scarecrows. Can you chase them down and flame them, Spyro?
Applebee! He picked the bees! References to things, you know. Now, this is a weird game of freeze tag, and I'm not entirely sure how it works. Just sort of chase them and flame them, but don't take too long, because otherwise they will respawn. As opposed to respawn. Spawn. There is some way of doing it goodly, but if you take too long, they come back, and it's like arse. But arse, you know? I don't remember what the rules are, I'm just trying to kill some bugs. You can cease. You know, like, cease. I nearly got you. I don't remember this at all. This should be harder than it is. There we go.
My fields are safe from those flying vermin, Spyro. Take this doodad I done dug up yesterday.
I do find the NPCs here charming. It's just I prefer Metropolis as an aesthetic. Is there another level to this? I remember that being so much harder. Well, more accurately, I remember never bothering doing it because I tried it once and found it too difficult, but I have done it before because... Oh, also the scarecrows are in fact alive, in case you didn't notice. Or, well, robot alive anyway. I have, as I said, 100%ed this game before, but, yeah. Also, the water is glowy and electrified, so why exactly do you need a giant bug lamp when your floor is bug lamp? I don't know why I said that weirdly. I guess that lift up there would probably crush you if you get too close to the underneath of it when it comes down. I don't know. Also, now that I think about it, I'm sort of surprised that Moneybags isn't in this level charging you for the privilege of using that barn lift. And you may have noticed that those barrels stop respawning once the associated enemy is killed. So if a barrel spawns and then you kill the enemy that would otherwise kick it, then it will stay there. But if I charge that barrel, it will cease existing. Like, another one won't spawn in its place. Now, since we're here, I'm doing this like a professional, but I don't actually remember. I think if you spit one of the piss rocks at the... Excuse you, I'm holding the triangle button. If you spit one of the piss rocks at the, those bugs, it just flips them over, I think. Also, worth noting that, they do have quite an arc on them compared to some other projectiles, or at least that's how it feels anyway. Now, it is worth your while to be collecting spirit particles in this level, because there is a spirit particle and I don't remember how picky it is. Also, we never actually went back and investigated that tower, so pardon me while I do. I say that as if I'm about to cut away, and I'm not. Hello there, Lift, can you take me away, like some sort of Bulgarian DJ from 2008? That was a good song. Oh, it's just a rockety doodle. It will rocket my doodle. Is this how we open the thing I saw before? You see, so it is. You might notice a giant pumpkin up there. Don't mind that, but the power-up in this level is supercharged, so we have a supercharged track. And as far as I've seen, there isn't a skill point for running the course 3 times, unlike in Fracture Hills. But I thought, oh, maybe I need to just get the supercharge and just fall off the course and charge into that that strong box. I'm not entirely sure what would happen if you were to do that. If you were to break the box like that and then light the rocket, like I'd imagine the rocket would just behave as normal and just fly to its destination and explode on impact, but there is nothing for it to impact, so it just explodes on the ground harmlessly. I don't know. I don't bother examining these things. Similarly, in the next game after this one, it starts introducing chests that are locked with a key, and you actually need to find the key within the level to open it. But if you complete enough special bonus levels, you do get the ability for Sparks to pick the locks on those things, I think. So then what happens to the keys? I guess they just cease existing? I don't know. None of this and more are things that I have investigated in the past. Anyway, well, this is the end of level orb. Please give. Turn on the bug zapper.
Way to go, Spyro! Them varmints won't be coming near our crops now. Can I offer you a reward?
Yes, you can. And apparently Greeny Beanie is the only one who has that name formatted in that way. I don't know, I like the aesthetic of it being all futury and stuff, even when there's a more futuristic level than this. Even though, like, farm-wise, it is a very futury flavoured level. There are indeed noodles to be had here. Oh, and there is a friend that goes. I'd forgotten that we had a friend that goes. Well, I'll have to pursue that in due course, but first there's this.
I used to drive my tractor all around the farm, but some fool robot blocked the path up. Do you think you could knock them down with a bit of a supercharge?
I reckon I can. I do like how the sort of feel of this place though, because like now that it's not being invaded, because like there are all these like identical-ish robot farmers, and they're like they coexist so nicely, and that's like not a comment on that they're all male-looking, so therefore oh it's nice that, I mean, Gay Farm 2K17 sure, but wow, that was easy.
A fine piece of steering that was, Dragon. Here, take this thingamajig I found in the cow pen.
I don't remember that being so easy. I thought that would take so many attempts and it didn't. Well, we got all the orbs. Now, I'm going to do a quick second lap of this just to see if I missed any gems, and I believe I did. I think I charged through those vases so quickly that they just didn't have time to attract the gems to me, but I know there's just something aesthetically pleasing about how the farm is run by these robots who are cooperating so closely and lovely, and I think we're going to need a supercharge to make this jump. Bear with. Whee! Yeah, sure enough, I completely missed that. Yeah, if you supercharge, you go entirely too quickly for the gems to magnetize to you. And then there's another jump over here as well, of course there is. Oh, we could just walk up the ramp, so maybe I completely wasted everybody's time, including but not limited to my own. Well, that's just delicious. So, as far as I know, there isn't a skill point for doing multiple laps of this, but I would check by doing it myself, but nah, I don't recognize it from the list that I saw, so let's just not worry about it. Anyway, the friend. I will kill you. Friendlily. Because we're friends. And I killed my friends. Ha. I'm being slightly worrying. Also, it's warm. I'm not sure why. And again, maybe by the time this video goes up, the weather will indeed have warmed again, because... Okay, here's a stupid thought, and I know I'm good at them, but still. Warmond. It's like an almond that's ready for battle. It is a war almond. A warmond. And yes, I'm going to let that thought hang because it's so stupid that it just needs a moment to percolate in the atmosphere. As opposed to the atmosphere, you know. Enunciate it incorrectly. And... courgettes. And here is the final friend, or so I would assume. Yeah. And is this the last of necessity all? So it is. And I would cut back to the portal, but these things are whirlwinds now. Are they supposed to be vents? I always saw them as just platforms that just mark, oh hey, we're going to put a whirlwind here later. Maybe they're supposed to be air vents? I don't know. Anyway, we have a closing skit to view. Go ahead, friend. Kind of cruel, but I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing in their position. Now, you might also remember that Robotica Farms and Metropolis actually have the same skybox, which I don't think that's ever occurred to me before. And you know what? Yeah, to hell with it, let's do it in this episode, just to show the two levels side by side, which I would have done with... excuse you.
I can see you've learned the value of orbs, Spyro.
I already opened this portal! Who do you think you are? Wow, okay. Okay, so the skybox is a bit purpler, I think. But I'd like to think that these are both in the same world. I mean, they are, because they interact with each other, but like... I'll explain in a second. Yeah, so that's about an accurate summary of my experience with commuting. So here we are in Metropolis.
This insurrection from the farms has got quite out of hand. We need someone to restore order. Find the inventor droid. She's been working on something big.
Now, it didn't occur to me, also briefcase, it didn't occur to me as a youth that these... the locals here are bugs. Also, return of the boop wall that has ripples. I love it. It didn't occur to me immediately that these were the bugs who were attacking Robotica Farms, but yes, so where were the farm animals? They're all out attacking Metropolis. It's cute. But yeah, their hair is their antennae. Antennae.
With all the budget cuts, these elevators need serious work. See, this one here is stuck. I expect it would start working if you could just give it a good whack, though.
Oh, and I probably should have mentioned at some point that this level is the one that has the lowest requirement for the power-up gate. So, Zephyr and the other one, which I've forgotten already, have a requirement of 2. But as you can see, those pig enemies fly straight at you if you get anywhere close to them, and because of this corridor, there is no way of getting to the power-up gate at the end of the level without at least one enemy dying. Also, too big to charge, so you have to wait for them to move their shield and then flame them. But yes, it's impossible to kill those enemies. Well, no. It's impossible to get by without those enemies dying, I should say. So, while the end of level, like, the power-up gate at the end of level, it does have an inactive state with like a little number 1 over it, showing that you need 1 spirit particle. And the character associated with its side quest does have lines for, oh, I have this power-up gate, but you need to get more spirit particles. But there's no way of viewing that in the normal game. You can use hacks and cheats and whatnot to sort of get out of bounds and glitch to the end of the level ahead of time. And that's, so it is programmed into the game, it does function, it's just, you wouldn't normally see it. But that is a really cool thing, that is something, in fact, that Crystal Fisher has covered over on his channel. We're not affiliated in any way, and in fact I haven't mentioned him since the first episode of Spyro 1's Let's Play, but anyway, that is a person who does a thing. Now there's this over here, and as I recall, some people absolutely hate this side mission. I've always loved it, I don't know what the problem is.
As you can see, a vicious ox has taken over our armory. We thought that freezing the walkway would keep animals out. The ox is very tough. I advise using the bombs against it, and it'll probably take several bombs at that.
All the missions lately have been 4 out of 5 stars, and none of them are that hard. So, use what we've learned from the battle with Gulp. Just flame the bombs and hope you're facing the right way. There is no penalty apart from if you take damage, and that's your responsibility, like that. But for the most part, as long as you can just face the right way, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, sure, Spyro has an unforgiving turning circle, but this really isn't that difficult, I swear, he says, doing absolutely hot garbagely. And they do explode on contact, which is fun. But yeah, you can just leave the battlefield and then come back, and the health doesn't deplete, so well, it doesn't heal itself, so you can use this to recenter yourself, but you do have to be a bit further forwards than this. I don't remember this being a problem, and yet I'm having difficulty. Wow, okay. Well, pardon me while I recenter. You don't bomb at me, how dare you? Come on. It doesn't help that Spyro does go forwards automatically. I'm going to probably have to go and heal just so I don't die. Like that. Wow. Part of me wants to believe that there is in fact a skill point for doing this particularly well. But I don't think there is. I think we've got all of them that aren't tied up in speedways or bosses at this point. Also, I'm taking so much unnecessary damage, and I don't know why. I'm good at this boss thing. Bossling. The bossling walkways of Metropolis. And I'm back down to 1 fuck of health again. Well, pardon me. The problem is, Spyro walks forward automatically on the ice, and there's sort of no way of correcting that. Excuse you, I flamed that, I object. For 3! Except that was probably too close to be worth 3 points. I don't know, I don't basketball. I'm not a sport. We've established this. And of course, everything's going just fine until I start commentating. Though I've not taken any damage yet. Probably about to, though, because I'm commentating. It's just how it goes. As long as you're close enough to the ox, then chances are the bombs will probably... Like, as long as they land in that back section where the ox is, you're good to go. Like, it counts as damage, so just... timing and be in the right place. Be in the world enough and time. I've bitched about that before, but that whole episode, that whole season of Doctor Who is over now. I don't even like calling them seasons, because the series is... Americanisms.
Excellent work, Dragon. We can now defend our city properly. Take this visually pleasing reward. That's one expression. Like, that's one expression that I learned from this game. Visually pleasing. I love the way that the android people refer to organics in this level. It's just a thing that of which I approve. Cow, hello, cow.
And I believe this is also a stuck, yes. So in order to move up or down on these elevators, you do have to head bash them. Yes, even when you're down and want to go up, you still have to head bash the elevator, which makes less sense. I mean, I suppose it would unstick it, but still, you're giving it downwards force to try and make it up. Logic. Well, anyway. You see, as if to prove my point. Also, I like how this is a red room with red gems, or, well, there are red lights and red gems, and the previous one was green with green gems, and I didn't say it, but I acknowledged it silently. Now, I am wondering how to get that locked box open in the room with the ox, because I know what the power-up in this level is, and I don't know if there's enough time to get back there with it. There probably is. It's probably the most generous power-up in the game out of all of them, so quite probably. As opposed to probably, you know, switching up my style. It's the future, so we use futurely teat speak. As opposed to leet speak, you have elite teats. Because you're the elite teat agents. People who rhythmically enhance breasts. I'm not familiar with that series at all. Haha! Anyway, this is the end of the level, even though we've not completed anything yet. But look at this. Look at this glorious, there is a fireball and wings, and this lady can explain.
Ah, Spyro. I heard you were coming. Thank you for your efforts in thwarting this attempted coup. Please take this item, which living creatures seem to like.
I also like how she's, I forget what she reminds me of. I'll think more in a moment.
It's a first for Avalar, a combination power-up. Thank goodness you're here to test it out. These invading sheep and their spaceships must be stopped.
And so this is the origin of the PlayStation Spyro trope of sheep in flying saucers, because it kind of becomes a recurring joke later down the line, for no particular reason other than, hey, it's sheep in flying saucers. Well, this is the origin of that. And once again, just spam the button, you're gonna hit something. And it also reminds me of some comedy song that I'm not familiar with, but I've seen it referenced somewhere. Just someone freaking out at the prospect of a combination Taco Bell and Pizza Hut. We don't have Taco Bell in this country, so it's a special novelty for me. Where is Final Sheep? I want to do this all on one charge. Sheep, sheep. Don't make this be like another bird, except it's sheep. Where are you, friend? Everyone is a friend now. Everyone is a telephone operator. Which isn't my reference to make. There is sheep. Oh, and I nearly fell out of the world by going through the portal by mistake. I'm going to intercept you, because this insurrection from the farms. This is how I learned the word insurrection as well.
Excellent work. You knocked those sheep right out of the sky. This orb device is proof of your skill.
I want to say Sarah Palin, but no. Someone else. Who am I thinking of?
I knew it. Those first sheep sent out a distress call. The next wave of saucers is incoming.
Who am I thinking of that has that kind of accent and is like a well-liked politician? Because I feel like Sarah Palin isn't popular enough to merit this kind of reference, but I don't know. I know nothing of American politics and care even fewer. Who does she remind me of? Fucking hell. And in all likelihood is probably based on, for that matter. And you, I feel like killing you is probably a skill point, but why would it be? Because I think we've got everyone that's in a main level, and I've already said this, and blah, that was easier than the first round for some reason.
Nice flying, Airman. You've proven the genius of my double power-up invention. Here, keep this to commemorate your victory.
What does bother me is, there is exactly one combination power-up in the next game, and it doesn't even have both icons, it just has one. But I'm not going to spoil anything more about that, because you're just going to have to wait for that Let's Play to find out more about those details. Haha. So pardon me while I just fly around this arena and witness the carnage that we have caused by just blasting everything with fire. Because once we've got all these gems, I will take another charge of the super power-up thing and head back inside and open the box that we saw near the ox. The ox box, if you will. The ox box 1 ox X box. The joke I'm going for is fairly obvious, I think. He says in a what wasn't really meant to be a cod Russian accent, but that's how it came out. Well, anyway, charge me up, give me gem, and spice my fandango squoozily. Yeah, speak French between your thighs. I don't even know what my problem is today. So, for some reason the lift is down in a good way, like down as in geographically down as opposed to down as in non-functioning. Also, it completely takes away your controls in this section, but yeah, I think we just had to get back here with the power-up. I don't remember that. I could swear there's a rocket around here somewhere, but evidently no. Not to mention I must have missed some gems back out there, so I'll just meet you back there, I guess. Oh, here we go. There's a whole load of gems at the very top of the world that I just completely ignored somehow. Well, this should be the last bunch, and then we can say that we are permanently and forever done with the majority of Winter Tundra's worlds. Which means that the only main level I have left to do is Cloud Temples, and I'm not looking forward to that. So for the moment, I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and I will leave you with the closing skit of Metropolis. Tragic.